You're listening to an AINC original podcast. We believe you don't have to do life without a compass. Let us be your guide on this amazing journey. Welcome to Navigating Life with Vision Loss.
Hello, I'm Kim Wardlow, your host for NLVL, Navigating Life with Vision Loss, and we're here to provide you information and resources to help you on your journey. And today, we're in July. We are talking about different types of accessible things you can do during the summer. And last week we talked about streets. So we touched on skiing a bit too, which is not a summer activity, but we did touch on some accessible sports for different seasons. And today I'm really excited because we're going to talk about accessibility at a music festival. In Colorado, we have so many really wonderful music festivals, but only one of them is accessible, fully accessible to everyone. So I'm really excited. My guest today is Shawn Satterfield. She's an inclusion architect with a goal to create experiences that are accessible and welcoming to everyone. She also is certified in digital accessibility. So whether it's digital content or a music festival, she's working to remove barriers and ensure that everyone can fully participate. So Shawn, welcome. I'm really excited to have you on our episode.
Hi, Kim. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, let's just dive right in. I am really curious about how the idea of an accessible, music festivals, yes, we know music festivals and there's all different genres of music festivals, but what started the idea for you to say we need a fully accessible music festival?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I think that, and my answer to this question has evolved over the past 4 years, in that I had to really, everybody says, well, all events have to be accessible. That's the law. And there's ADA sections. And, and I,
but it doesn't always really happen, right?
No, I mean, the minimalistic boxes are checked, right? So yes, we have a ramp, or yes, we have accessible bathrooms, or, the accessible, fenced in, blocked in barrier, area where individuals that have access ADA seats can sit and no one else can go in and they cannot go out. And it really only identifies really only looks at it from a mobility standpoint. It doesn't look at it from visual or hearing or neurodiverse or anything outside of physical. Are you in a wheelchair? Or do you have, are you on crutches? And so it really kind of didn't start about that. It started when I love live music. That's my thing. I've seen almost 1,000 different concerts all over the world. And
I know you just mentioned you'd gone to Iceland to see a concert. It's like, wow.
Yeah, I've been Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Mexico, all over the U.S., Amsterdam, London, Iceland. Iceland's like the most remote place I've been so far, which was awesome. And what's unique about it, and I think what I love the most about live music, is the community. And for those people who don't go to concerts, or maybe you go to the one, your one favorite band comes and you go and that's it. And maybe you haven't really experienced what what the live music community is like. But my entire chosen family is from people that I've met at live music. I met my husband at a live music event. I met the guy who married us in line at a concert in Vegas.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, when I say the music community, I really mean the music community. But what I noticed, or what just kind of was revealed to me, was that I've never met anybody in an ADA section. And the reason is I can't. I even if I were to walk over there and say, hey, I just want to go in there and introduce myself, I couldn't go in there. They won't let me in. Security won't let me in there. And that is kind of what stuck with me. I thought, wow, there's got to be a better way to do this. And
well, and then not only can you not get in, but you said they
can't go out.
I mean, it's like they're a prisoner at the concert.
Well, it sounds really horrible when I say it, but it's a cage. I mean, if there was anything other than human beings in there, that's what we would refer to it as. And it isn't a one-off. The ADA sections can kind of be just plugged and played. There's no real thinking involved in that. It's like, here you go. Where's a spot? I've seen some ADA sections that are literally behind, along the side of the stage. You can't even see the stage.
Oh, wow.
Because they're older venues and they don't have any other place to put it. And so, you have that argument of older venues, newer venues. And yeah, some of the newer venues are creating some really nice cages. But they're also still only thinking about the physical aspect of it. And so after realizing that, well, I guess this is my purpose. This has been revealed to me as something that I can't shake. I can't let go. And that's kind of where I started. I thought, how can we do this better? How can we make it so that everyone has access to the community that live music creates? I think we all need that connection. We all need, more so now than ever, we need to be able to connect with other humans. And so that's just what we did. I created Shine Music to just think about, it'll never be perfect and there will always be ways to improve on it. But how can we think outside of that box? How can we remove barriers that prevent individuals of any ability from collectively sharing in that live music community? And so that's what we do. We figure it out. Every year we try something new, and what works we keep, and what doesn't work we figure something else out.
Shawn, what sorts of things make you mentioned that the typical we're meeting our ADA requirements really just deals with mobility. What types of things do you incorporate to address other accessibility needs?
So let's take neurodiverse, which is interesting. I think prior to 2019, I really didn't know what that meant. And now that I know what it means, aren't we all neurodiverse? I don't know. I kind of feel like everybody is neurodiverse. I don't know that there's one brain that works. Everybody's brain works in a certain exact same way. So, but there are individuals with that are on the spectrum that perhaps maybe have different needs, whether it's sensory from sound or visual or just too many people. So how do we do that? How do we navigate that? If we're not going to create a cage or a space at our event that says this is where you have to go, we then need to create multiple areas so that people can find where they fit in best. We don't dictate to them what that looks like. We let them choose from a variety of options. So from spaces that are off to the side where the lights are not going to be right in your face and the speakers are not right at you and you can still hear and be a part of the community. So we have like sensory zones. This year we are implementing headphones. Like we took the concept of silent disco. So like the band that I went to go see in Iceland, they do this. They call it snow cones and headphones. I don't know why they call it snow cones and headphones. I have no idea. But you can rent these high quality headphones that are connected to the soundboard. So you're getting that crisp sound right from the soundboard and you're not getting it in the audience. Well, it was in that moment where I went, well, wait a minute. There are individuals that are on the spectrum that cannot process all the different noises. So if there's background noises and the noise from the
Too
speakers.
many sources.
Yeah. So if we streamline that and give them the ability to simply hear the music coming from the stage. So it's great for people who can hear and are not on the spectrum. You get to hear that crisp music. And if you need it from an accessibility standpoint, it's also there. Everything we do is fun for everybody. So it doesn't mean like, oh, if you're not this, you can't do this. We let everybody experience every aspect of what we do. And so it's things like that. Last year we brought in X-ray glasses. This was so fun. Not everybody who's deaf knows sign language. And if you do know sign language, and you go to shows a lot, you're always in the front row. And that's where the interpreter is. Well, then that means all your friends have to be in the front row. And your friends may not be deaf. And they might be after standing in front of the speakers every time they go to a concert, because that's where you need to be. Well, these closed caption glasses, we tested them out and they worked. We were able to capture the lyrics coming from the stage across the bottom of the glasses. So these people could be anywhere in the room and they could be having conversations with people. So new people that they met who don't know sign language are able to communicate with them, and they were able to see the words go across the bottom of the glasses. And, you think about that's not just for deaf. What about, language barriers? And there's so many barriers that those glasses broke down, but it's just thinking things like that. So, again, just really fun ways of experiencing music and the community of music in new ways. This year we have a really exciting new partner that we haven't officially announced, kind of teased it, but in Chroma. Have you heard of those? They invent the colorblind glasses. Do you know what those are?
Okay.
Yeah, and they have.
I have not seen them.
Yeah, so they're colorblind glasses, and if I went to 3 concerts in the last week, and every time the stage was all red or all green, I went, oh my gosh, I guess they're not seeing that color. And so we're going to have colorblind glasses, but we're also having low vision glasses, and we're having color enhancing glasses for individuals that don't have any visual impairments. And so just again, going out there and digging and finding new technologies. And a lot of times people haven't thought about it in a concert space. They know that it works, hey, this helps with this, but they've never once thought about how it impacts, how it could actually broaden the experience from a live music standpoint. So it's super fun.
Right. Well, and obviously you're at Aftersight, the large majority of our audience is blind or low vision. So you mentioned a couple of things for folks who have color blindness or low vision. And I think often people think, well, it's a concert, so it's auditory. So if you're blind, you're hearing it. So what accommodations do you need? What other types of things may someone need if they're blind or deafblind that they'd be able to experience?
Yeah, well, if you go to a music festival, there's vendors, there's food, there's all kinds of art, everything. And so having large print and braille menus, maps, information, all of those things are always everything that we have in print is available in large print and in braille. They have we have one thing we wanted to do, and we just didn't have the funds for it this year. And that's kind of the heartbreak as I come up with ideas and resolution to issues, and then I need to find the money to make it happen. Right. But someone mentioned having a a person who is actually, so they could use the headphones that we have, and they could be tuned into a channel where someone was describing what's going on.
Oh, right. Audio description of the event.
And I was like, well, I want that. So, those are the kinds of things that I think that we can still really improve on. We have braille on our concert t-shirts, which we're the only music festival in the world that does that. And we just used puff ink and put Shine Music on there. It's a nice talking point, right? So it opens up the conversation of, oh, what are those dots on your sleeve? Or and that's braille, and it kind of opens up. That's again just keeping the conversation. Communication is education. So but yeah, and I know that Ted Taquichi had mentioned, even like navigating, we over communicate. So we provide every bit of detail of, okay, when you get off this bus stop, you turn left and you do this, and here's how you get here. And when you get inside, but he was even talking about adding a navigation, an auditory navigation through the whole event when you walk in, to your left and all that. So I think we still have, even though we've done a lot for vision loss attendees, I still think we can do even more. In beacon tags. Beacon tags were the other thing we wanted to add that we just didn't have the funds for again. And that way people could find, hey, I want to go, where's that taco truck at? I want to know where the taco truck is. And then they can go there and implement and use those beacon tags to not only find it, but then get all the menu and the information from that. So lots of room for growth still.
That's great. It's just great to hear all these ideas. I know you mentioned Ted. Ted is going to be there with his artwork.
Yes.
There's an art exhibit. Do you want to mention any other specifics about this year's event?
Ted's going to be great. Did you know that that's the first public display of his multi-sensory art exhibit in collaboration with Andy Warhol Foundation and Redline Contemporary Art? I couldn't understand it. I was like, what do you mean 3 multi-sensory? And so I met with Ted and his amazing wife, and it's just such an amazing thing to experience. But you can see the photo, and then they used a 3D mapping technology to not just create, if there's either something there or not. It's the shading would be like bumps, and you can literally feel all the different nuances of the photo.
Oh, wow.
And then there's a QR code where you scan it and you hear Ted telling you and describing what the photo looks like. So you see it, feel it, and hear it. And I'm really excited to bring that art to Shine this year. We've got, Swallow Hill is doing a instrument petting zoo, which I love that phrase.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. And, and they're just going to do a bunch of workshops, and there's a lot going on. And we're really excited because Blind Chick Podcast is going to be broadcasting there as well.
Right. We're going to be doing an episode from there.
Yeah. So
we're excited for that.
Yeah. Oh, and Dateability. Are you familiar with Dateability?
Oh, yes. Yes. I saw that on the website.
Yeah. The world's only dating app designed for individuals with disabilities. They are, I love them. They're 2 sisters. They're just amazing individuals. And I was asking them, what's the biggest hurdle in success in dating with, and they said, well, a lot of individuals with disabilities haven't had great success on other sites, and they don't really have the experience. They don't have of like how to write a profile up. And needless to say, not for lack of trying, but profile photos maybe aren't necessarily the best profile photos. And so I said, well, what if we hire a photographer and offer people free profile pictures from a professional photographer? So they're going to be there setting up profiles for people, getting those awesome photos taken, And then they're going to do a matchup, which they don't always do. They did it
wow.
once in New York over February out of Fashion Week. But they're going to actually match some people up. So,
that night.
I mean, that's a great music and kind of combining music and love, and especially from someone who met my significant other at a concert. I think that's just really awesome that there is a chance for people to make lifelong partners, to meet lifelong partners at Shine. That would just be magic. So I'm excited for that one.
That sounds very fun. So there's wonderful music, but there's so much more.
Yes.
Food, art, dating, all kinds of things.
It's interviews. Yeah, it's everything. And our day programming is going to be really focused on family focused and letting we have 2 stages, indoors and outdoors. And the indoor stage is going to provide a space where families can share in music together. So a lot of times we drag our children to shows that they could care less about, or we get stuck going to a show that we don't want to be at. And so we've aligned our whole entire program from the inside on the main stage at Real Works to make it where the whole family can enjoy in the power of music together with School of Rock and Rock and Roll Playhouse. And then we have a couple of surprise new announcements coming out this week as well, with some other artists that are going to align with that family focus. So we're really excited.
How fun. That will be such a great time. And we should just let folks know that is August 24th.
Yep.
That it's happening. Do you want to tell them where and where they can find more information and purchase tickets?
Oh, absolutely. So it's on August 24th at Real Works, which is where we were at last year, our new home. We're so grateful to have found the amazing people at Real Works. And it is in Rhino District, in the Rhino Art District in downtown Denver. The event is from 12 to 11. And there's a difference this year. Our events have always been free the whole time. Unfortunately, that's just not sustainable. But I wanted to do my best to keep my commitment to providing the community with Shine Music Festival. So we will have it free from 12 to 6. So music, on both stages, all the arts, all the vendors, everything is free for all. Of course, we love your donations to help us keep our mission moving forward. And then we will have a minimal fee. Right now, it's from 6 to 11. So our headliner is Carl Denson, Tiny Universe, who was actually just in town playing with the Rolling Stones last week. And we have the rest of our lineup is coming out this week as well. And then it's a $30 ticket, and 100% of that money goes to just paying for our event. So whether you want to come and enjoy the free part of the day for 6 hours or kind of a combination of both, we've got it. We've got something for everybody. And you can find more information out on our website at shinemusicfestival.com.
Great. Well, Shawn, when I think about music festivals, concerts in general, many of them are organized by very large corporations. So you, as a small nonprofit, are able to do this, and yet the large corporations seem unable or uninterested. What do you see as the barriers? Why can't other venues be more accessible?
So it's a really interesting question, because it's not like they're definitely aware of me. I've been reached out to by some of them, and so I think there's a misconception that it's going to cost a lot of money. And let me be clear that whether you're putting on an event or you're creating a website or a digital document, accessibility is only expensive when it's an afterthought. It's really easy to just think inclusively from the beginning. It doesn't cost you that much more money. But there's a thought that what we're going to do all of this for one or two people. Kim, 30% of our attendees identify with the disability community.
Mm-hmm.
That's
a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
One or two.
Yeah. And, the feedback, we're very big on, I learned right out of the gate, nothing for us that's not with us. And I don't make these decisions just in a box by myself. I have a team that is comprised of individuals from the disability community. We ask our attendees survey questions after the event is over to get their feedback. We've done our research and continue to do our research. And the fundamental reason that some individuals don't go to a lot of, music festivals or live events is that they've given up on the promoters even considering their needs. And it was, I think, the reason that we have 30% of our attendees that do identify with the disability community is because they know that we have taken their needs into consideration. We had to build trust, and that was spending 2 years just reaching out to the various organizations that dedicate their entire work around making the world more accessible for their community members and talking with them. Davis Finney Foundation, I learned from them a very obvious, people with Parkinson's can't have drinks without lids. Like, that was, right. I would have thought I would have figured that one right out, but I didn't. And so, we listen, and whenever, that's what we implemented now for this year. We thankfully, 4imprint gave us a grant, and we were able to get tumblers with lids and straws that don't come out. So that individuals that do need those kinds of glasses, containers for their drinks or beverages, those will be provided for free of charge. It's just, I don't know. It's sad. And we all see it. We see that the music industry hasn't bounced back since COVID. That's the numbers. I think that they're still making a lot of money. I don't think that they're hurting. But if they're not seeing the numbers, and ticket sales are going down, which we've seen in the news recently, a lot of big artists have canceled their tours for lack of ticket sales. Well, how about you just, you would think they would want to open and broaden their reach to anybody who wants to go to concerts. And so I don't know. I kind of thought it would have, the ultimate goal, Kim, is that Shine Music becomes obsolete, right? That everybody
because it's just what's done.
Yeah.
It's just how things are.
Yeah.
That would be great.
I hope we're not obsolete. I hope that we just become like the testing ground for new technologies. That's our goal, is to just continuously find those new technologies out there. But yeah, I can only say from what I've heard. I've been in conferences, I've heard promoters talk, and they seem to think, they get frustrated that someone requests a ASL interpreter for a show that has, 1,500 capacity venue. And they're like, that costs us $1,000 for one person. And it's like, well, have you looked at other alternatives? Have you even looked at other solutions? Have you made an arrangement with a interpreting company so that, hey, you put them on retainer and you don't pay as much then. So when you need them, they're there. There's a lot of solutions.
And then they could promote that then, right?
Yeah.
And maybe get some new people coming to their event.
Yeah. So it's but we do see it in things like Coldplay. What they did last year on their Sphere tour was exactly, they brought in Culture Club to do the sensory packs. They did, they had ASL interpreters. The ASL interpreters were on stage. The entire crew learned ASL.
Oh, wow.
Chris Martin and that whole team, when they kind of had their eyes opened to accessibility, they dove in. And they went. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen a mainstream band put together that much initiative and effort in ensuring that everyone has access to their music and to their shows. So it's happening. It's just there's a lot of noise going on in the world right now, and I think things get buried. I don't know why we grab onto the negative things and it seems like the positive things we clap for a moment and they're gone, but we really hold on to the negative things. And if people just looked at all the positive things going on in the world, maybe things would change our outlook a little bit.
Yeah, make things a little bit brighter. And like you said, there's people all over. So it may not be a large festival, but people all over are organizing community events, and city events and county events or service clubs. What tips would you have for just very organic, hands on, boots on the ground, the folks that they may even be just volunteers that are putting together a community event, but how folks could start to incorporate accessibility, like you said, not needing a huge budget or anything like that, but just a few practical things that we could even start even at a community level.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, always include someone with a disability in that planning, right? Let there be a voice from the people that you're trying to serve. And then just, that's what we did. I mean, that's all. We were in the same boat. Nothing like Shine Music Festival has ever happened anywhere in the world. I didn't have any playbook to go off of. I didn't get to look at what one person did and expand on it. I had what's out there now, which is the minimalistic, here's an ADA section. And that was kind of it. So just think about it. Look at your space. What can you do? And remove, like, okay, if I had no vision, if I had no hearing, if I had a sensory disorder, whatever it is, look at that space that you have and what can you do to make it more inclusive and more accessible? Just think about it from that standpoint. That's what we did. We stood there in front of a blank canvas and said, how do we change this landscape? And little tweaks, or even having our first year, we just had a lot of buddies because we didn't know. So we had these buddies and they were volunteers who, hey, if someone comes along and we didn't take this need into consideration or what we thought we could do isn't working, that they're there for them. And a lot of those buddies became friends with their person. So it was really awesome. It ended up being a great thing, but it was just try. I think that's fundamentally the biggest thing you can do is can you just try? Just don't look at it from what that legal standing says of, hey, you've got to have X number of accessible porta potties and you have to have, accessible seating and a ramp and exits and entrances that are accessible. Look at it beyond just that and think about all of the different abilities out there. And
that's great
and try
advice.
it. Just try it. No one's going to blame you for trying. Yeah, no one's going to blame you for trying. Right.
Do you still use volunteers to help support your event?
Yeah, we actually are still, and we're still all, including myself, we have no paid staff. So everything that goes on, we've served over 15,000 people so far. and in the Denver community. And it's all been done by volunteers. So that is, we just wouldn't exist. My team, my whole team, everything that they do, is all volunteer. It's not sustainable for long-term for sure, but I know that, everybody believes in the long-term mission of Shine. And in order for us to get to the point where we have those reoccurring sponsors, right? And those supporters that keep us going, we're going to need those volunteers, and we're so grateful for them. We always have tons of them, especially day of.
Yeah. If somebody is interested in volunteering, is that information also on your website?
It is. There's an entire volunteer section on our website. So you can just fill out that form. And then we have an amazing volunteer coordinator who we learned that you can't really coordinate volunteers super far in advance. We're big planners, so we'll start talking to you 6 months ahead of time. But within that 30 days, about 45 days before the event is when we really start getting everybody. Okay, are you guys still available on this date?
Right.
And when do you want to? And then we kind of align everybody with. Some people are very specific about what they want to help with, and some just say, "Put me wherever you need me." So we really work hard to find a spot so that it's enjoyable, that they get to have as much fun volunteering as the people who they're helping are having. So we're so grateful for our volunteers.
Well, great. Well, Shawn, I appreciate you spending some time with us today and talking about accessibility and the Shine Music Festival specifically. I think it's just such a wonderful lineup of music and art and food and community, as you said, really community.
Yeah.
Is there any final thoughts or words you want to leave with our listeners?
No, we're just we're always interested in hearing what people's thoughts are after they have attended. If it's your first time or your last time, I love my Jordan quote from our very first event. Our very first event was terrifying because it was supposed to happen in 2020, and it didn't happen until 2021, and it was 101 degree. We beat Beijing in like air quality, it was a horrible day, like from a weather perspective. And I was feeling, I was just really disappointed. I mean, I lack the inability to think small. So I'm like, there's going to be 15,000 people there. But Jordan said, "Thank you for giving me the gift of a music festival that I was able to navigate on my terms and my timing. It's the first time in my life I've been able to attend something like this without the need of a sighted person." And that quote has kept me going since. And so, if you have been to one of our events, if you come to we encourage, please come. We'd love for you to experience what true inclusion and accessibility and community looks like, but also your feedback. So there's a form on our website. You can go and fill that in. It has an open spot for a message. And if there's any suggestions or ideas, or if you have a technology or something that you've come up with that you think might be a great addition to the Shine Music Festival, we'd love to hear from you. Because again, when we say community, we mean everybody's part of our community. And so, whether you have a disability or not, we want your voice to be heard, and we want Shine Music Festival to be a place where you feel fully included.
Great. Well, thanks again, Shawn. Just a reminder to everybody that Shine Music Festival is August 24th, and you can find more information about it, attending, volunteering, everything on their website, shinemusicfestival.com. So,
awesome. Thanks, Kim.
And we will all be there. After Sight will be there as well, doing a blind check episode. So we look forward to seeing everybody also. So thanks again, Shawn.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. Can't wait to see you guys on the Acoustic Avenue stage, outside stage, on August 24th. it's going to be exciting.
It will. It'll be so much fun. And about a month before that, here at the end of July 27th, is After Sight's fundraising hike. And again, we try to make that inclusive. We provide sighted guides if people want to come and don't have a guide or have not maybe been hiking, or have been hikers but haven't been hiking since losing vision. So we try to make that inclusive for everybody. But we'd like to have folks attend. You can get more information on that at our website, which is aftersight.org and /hike. And you can get all of the information for registration and location. It's at Myers Gulch this year. It's beautiful, just a beautiful location with big open meadows and a great trail for all abilities of hikers. So we encourage folks to come to that at the end of July, and then we'll look forward to the Shine Festival, Music Festival at the end of August. Also, if you enjoy, and I did want to mention with the hike too, when you register for the hike, some of the other podcast hosts are competing. So Blind Level Tech, The Blind Chick, and Game Changers, our newest podcast. They're all having a little friendly competition. So when you register, you can actually choose one of those podcasts and be kind of on that team. And there'll be some advantages and surprises for folks on the team. So they're doing a little competition there too, to add a little bit of interest this year. So watch for that when you register. Whether you can hike or not, we also have a nature bathing activity. So for folks that maybe want to participate and come for community, but don't really have an interest in hiking or are not able to hike, we'll have that as well. And if you just want to support what is going on here at AfterSight and all of our podcasts and our original audio editions, we encourage you to please make a donation at our website as well. And that will allow us to keep creating all of these programs for you at no cost. So if you're able to make a donation, we appreciate that. And we look forward to having you listen again next week as we continue on July of different accessible activities. And we hope that all of this information helps you live your life with vision loss.